Okay, so this ghostly structure here, which does take a lot of digging to find, but this ligament is the cruciate ligament of the atlas. And so where I am now is I'm actually deep to the mouth. So I'm within the mandible right now, and I'm looking at C2 below and C1 above. And so this cruciate ligament is going to have two distinct parts. So these uh, bands that run up and down are going to be our longitudinal bands. And so the one on top is going to run from the occipital bone of the skull. And the one on bottom is going to connect down to the body of the axis, or C2. And then this thick structure in the middle is going to be the transverse ligament. Again, the other component of this cruciate ligament. So the transverse ligament makes up the big, thick middle part, and this will run between the tubercles of the medial aspects on the lateral masses of the atlas. Um, this one's fairly hard to pin down. So my best suggestion is to just tear away the skeleton, look where it is in reference to the um, axis, atlas, and the occipital bone. And it's really stuck between the rest of these ligaments that we had talked about, right? So we already touched upon the atlantoaxial joint and then the um, atlanto-occipital joint on top. So this one's kind of wedged between those two. Um, so again, a little tricky to pick out, but play around with the program and you can uh, kind of discern where it is that way. So again, a longitudinal band and a transverse band for this cruciate ligament. All right, so moving on to a little bit of an easier one. We have our alar ligament. So the alar ligament is going to run between the dens, which is that process on top of the axis bone, to the lateral margins of the foramen magnum. Okay, so again, unfortunately, this is a harder one to pick out, but where I am now, again, I'm within the oral region of the skull, and I'm looking through the bodies of C1 and C2, and then I can see these alar ligaments. So again, we have that knob-shaped dens on the axis. And so on the left and right side, these alar ligaments run from the dens up to the lateral portion of the foramen magnum.